It all started on a gloomy Monday morning, the kind of morning that seemed to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders before you even stepped into school. Lily had been dreading this day for weeks, though she had no idea why the universe seemed determined to test her patience. Ever since her mother passed away, Lily felt the emptiness like a permanent ache in her chest. But there was one thing that still made her feel connected to her mom, a delicate silver necklace, a thin chain with a tiny heart-shaped pendant. It wasn't just jewelry, it was a symbol of love, of memories she could never replace, of a mother's final gift that whispered, "You are stronger than you think." She wore it every single day, as if wearing her mother's heart around her own neck could somehow fill the void. But the moment she walked into the bustling high school hallway, she realized today would be different. She had seen them coming from across the hall, the notorious group of bullies who seemed to take pleasure in making everyone else's life miserable. They were tall, loud, and cruel, and they had somehow made it their mission to torment Lily specifically. She had always tried to stay under the radar, keeping to herself, but that only seemed to make her a bigger target. Their leader, Vanessa, had a smile that could send shivers down anyone's spine, a smile that was beautiful but poisonous. As Lily clutched her backpack straps tighter, she felt her stomach knot. She tried to ignore the whispers, the snickers that followed her every step. But the moment she reached for her locker, she felt it. A sharp tug at her necklace. Her eyes went wide as she turned to see Vanessa smirking, holding the delicate silver chain in her manicured fingers. "Is this yours?" Vanessa sneered, dangling the pendant between her fingers like a trophy. "What's the matter, Lily? Scared I'll break it?" Lily froze. Her heart pounded so violently it felt like it could burst through her chest. That necklace was everything. Everything, and she could see the cruel delight in Vanessa's eyes as she yanked it roughly, testing its strength. Before Lily could react, Vanessa gave it a hard snap. The pendant hit the floor with a tiny heartbreaking clink. Lily's knees almost gave out. She could feel the tears threatening to spill, but something inside her shifted. This wasn't just about a necklace. It was about respect, about dignity, about every insult and shove she had endured silently. Something primal awoke in her, a surge of fire she had never felt before. You broke it?" she stammered, trembling, but her voice carried a hint of steel that surprised even herself. Vanessa laughed loud and cruel. "Oh, come on. It's just a little thing. Maybe now you'll finally learn not to be so pathetic." The hallway seemed to shrink, the noise around her fading into a dull roar. She remembered her mother's words, her mother's lessons. "Strength isn't just in your fists, Lily. It's in your heart, and it's in your mind. But when they push you too far, you can defend yourself." Her fingers flexed. Her black belt, earned after years of dedication, after countless hours of sweat and pain, burned with purpose. It wasn't just a belt, it was a symbol of discipline, control, and power. And now, it was time to channel everything she had learned. She took a deep breath, grounding herself. Vanessa, still holding the broken necklace, didn't notice the shift in Lily's demeanor. Lily's eyes narrowed, her stance steady, her mind laser-focused. "Enough," Lily said quietly, but the weight behind her words made everyone in the hall take notice. Vanessa blinked, taken aback by the sudden authority in Lily's tone. The other bullies exchanged nervous glances, sensing that today would not go as planned. Before Vanessa could react, Lily moved. Her body flowed with the precision and speed that only years of training could give. Within seconds, Vanessa found herself staggering backward, completely unprepared for the strength and skill Lily unleashed. The moves were clean, controlled, and unstoppable. Strikes and blocks that were not meant to hurt unnecessarily, but to stop the threat in its tracks. The other bullies jumped in, trying to help Vanessa, but Lily's training made her a whirlwind of calculated energy. Each move was executed with precision, leaving the hall in stunned silence. By the time the principal and a few teachers arrived, the bullies were on the floor, groaning, clutching limbs they never thought could betray them. Lily stood over them, breathing hard, her chest rising and falling. The necklace lay forgotten on the floor, broken, but her resolve was unshaken. She looked around the hall, now quiet and staring, and felt something she hadn't felt in weeks: power. Not just physical power, but the knowledge that she wouldn't be a victim anymore. Her mother's memory felt closer than ever, and a quiet smile tugged at her lips. "I made you proud, Mom," she whispered, touching the pendant gently, even though it was broken. And then, noticing the shocked students and the small crowd of watchers, she added, almost playfully, "If you want to see more moments like this, or learn how to stand strong in the face of anything life throws at you, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next." The hall was still, the air charged with energy. Lily's journey had only begun, and the world would never look at her, or anyone like her, quite the same way again. The aftermath of that hallway incident left the school buzzing for days. Rumors flew like wildfire. Everyone knew what had happened, and everyone had an opinion. Some students whispered in awe about Lily's skill and courage, while others gossiped about how the bullies had been humiliated. Lily, however, didn't care about gossip. She cared about one thing, making sure no one else had to endure what she had. She had learned in the hardest way possible that strength wasn't just about fighting. It was about standing up for yourself and protecting what mattered most. Even with the bullies recovering in the hospital, their spiteful words still lingered in her mind. Vanessa had vowed revenge in the days before the incident, and Lily knew the moment they were able, they would return. But Lily was ready. Her black belt wasn't just a symbol of power, it was a symbol of discipline, patience, and preparation. Every night after school, she trained harder than ever, perfecting moves, building strength, and focusing her mind. She imagined her mother beside her, guiding her silently, whispering, "You're stronger than fear itself." It wasn't long before the bullies returned, this time smarter and more devious. They cornered Lily in the gym, surrounded her, thinking sheer numbers could intimidate her. Vanessa sneered, clutching a twisted smile that made Lily's skin crawl. "Thought you were tough, huh? Let's see how brave you are when there's no one to stop us," she hissed. But Lily didn't flinch. Instead, she positioned herself calmly, grounding her weight, focusing on her breathing. Every insult, every taunt, every cruel memory surged through her not as fear but as fuel. She remembered the broken necklace, her mother's gift, and the unspoken promise she had made to herself no one would ever take her dignity again. The fight began, not chaotic but precise. Every move Lily executed was flawless, a mix of speed, agility, and strategic intelligence. She didn't strike out of anger, she struck with purpose one by one. The bullies were disarmed, knocked off balance, and rendered powerless. The gym echoed with the sounds of their frustration and their astonishment. Vanessa, desperate and panicked, lunged at Lily with a wild swing. Lily sidestepped with perfect timing, tripping her expertly and holding her in place. As Vanessa struggled, Lily leaned close, her eyes cold but controlled. "You wanted to see if I was brave," she said softly. "But bravery isn't just about fighting back. It's about knowing when to act with honor." By the time the teachers arrived, the bullies were lying on mats, exhausted and defeated. No permanent harm had been done, but the lesson had been delivered. Lily stood tall, sweat dripping from her brow, heart racing, yet calm. The respect in the eyes of her classmates was palpable. They had seen what courage and training could achieve. They had seen a young woman defend herself with honor and skill, and they would never underestimate her again. Later, as she sat in the empty gym, Lily picked up the broken pendant from the floor. It was shattered, but somehow more meaningful than ever. She ran her fingers over the delicate heart shape and whispered to herself, "I did it, Mom. I protected what mattered, and I never gave in to fear." That necklace, though broken, symbolized something far greater than any piece of jewelry. It symbolized resilience, love, and the power within her to face any challenge. As the camera pans over her, the story isn't just about victory in a fight. It's about the journey to becoming unshakable. Lily's tale is a reminder that life will test you, but your courage, discipline, and heart can make all the difference. And just when viewers think the story is over, she looks directly into the lens with a confident, knowing smile and says, "If you want to see more stories of courage, strength, and overcoming impossible odds, don't just watch, subscribe. Join me and let's face challenges together." The story of the broken necklace, the bullies, and the black belt wasn't just a tale of revenge. It was a testament to inner strength, self-respect, and the courage to stand up for what you love. Lily's journey had turned a tragedy into triumph, pain into power, and fear into unwavering confidence. She walked out of the gym that day, not just victorious over her bullies, but over every doubt she had ever had about herself and her mother's memory. Stronger than ever, shining through the courage of the daughter she had raised. This chapter ends not with violence, but with empowerment. Viewers are left inspired, heart-pounding, and motivated to embrace their own inner strength. The message is clear: no one can take away your dignity or your power unless you let them. And if you want to be part of more empowering stories where courage meets heart, then hit that subscribe button and don't miss a single moment.